Hi, everybody. How's it going? Today, we're going to be taking a look at the different types of news that exist. So, let us begin. First particular news or type of news that exists is a news article or news report. News article or news report discusses current and recent news of either general interest. So, you might see a general interest article in, let's say, the New York Times or Boston Globe. Maybe you might see a general news interest art in the news of like WBZ, CBS Boston, or you might see a specific topic type of news report or news article from a magazine or website like Car and Driver, Sports Illustrated, or even like Game Informer if you read about video games. And it usually oftentimes includes eyewitness accounts of what happened, so people who were at the event or saw what happened. So we can see a couple examples of news reports or news articles up on the screen right now. You can see there's one over here about a news report about the mayor of Boston who issued an indoor mask mandate saying all people who are inside, let's say restaurants, for example, they have to wear a mask indoors until they start eating. Next, you can see there's a particular image of a news reporter who's delivering the weather about a recent hurricane that had taken place. And then you can see one of my favorite magazines is Car and Driver talking about the Chevy Bolt electric vehicle, and there were some issues with the batteries that had happened. So they were reporting on the particular battery problems that happened with the car. All right, next up we have editorial.
Editorial. So, editorial is a news piece written as a shared group opinion, or point of view on a key topic, issue, or current event. It is written or published by the editorial staff and aligns with the general agenda of the newspaper, publication, broadcast, or even its owner. So, remember, it's a group. It is written on behalf. If something is from the editorial board, as you can see below, it is written on behalf of that paper. So the editorial staff is a group of people who control the message and big ideas of the newspaper, publication, and broadcast, right? And we've talked a little bit about bias before, right? And this goes really a big piece into that part of their bias, right? What are they trying to show? What are they trying to model? What are they trying to push for? What are they trying to advocate for? What are they trying to advocate against? This is the whole newspaper making this statement.
So we can see over here that's a group of people in the particular picture, and they are putting together their particular message that they want us, the reader, or us, the viewer, to know. So we can see some examples over here about emergency workers. So if there's ever an emergency, there might be an EMT who might be coming to your house or might be coming to the school to help out the particular person who's in danger. They're saying that EMT, those emergency medical workers, deserve equal pay. They deserve better pay because maybe they should be getting paid more, is what the editorial board believes. Another big one dealt with politics. We see over here that the editorial board is saying that the governor of New York, Governor Cuomo, should resign and step down from office due to some of the things that he had done over the course of his time in office. So they're saying what they think as a group opinion. All right, next up, we're going to see an opinion / op-ed commentary. We're going to see that this is a little bit different than the editorial. This opinion or op-ed stands for opposite the editorial page. It's a written piece. Sometimes it's also recorded as well. Typically in published in a newspaper or magazine, or also you might see some opinion pieces in video as well on news networks, which expresses an opinion of an individual author. Sometimes it's more than just one person. It might be two, maybe a little bit more. But it's not affiliated with the newspaper, publication, or broadcast editorial board. So we can see over here, we see a little video. We see a difference We can see on the left-hand side, you see op-ed. One person. That's Thomas L. Friedman. He's a very famous columnist for the New York Times. When he expresses his opinion for the New York Times, that's his opinion alone. On the other hand, if you see editorial, we could see New York Times editorial board. You see, there's a group of multiple people. That's just four of many people who are part of the editorial board for the New York Times. So usually, when you see an opinion piece or op-ed commentary piece, it's usually by one person.
So looking at these next examples here, um, right, we have a guest essay. To save his presidency, Biden must tell the truth about Afghanistan. We have an opinion. Boston needs to take more decisive measures on COVID-19 and get Afghan refugees out, then let them in. So these are individual people stating their opinion, right? And we've just finished talking, right, about, or no, we're talking right now about the First Amendment, right, and one's ability to speak their mind, right? So the newspaper might not necessarily agree with these opinions, but they're going to let their writers speak their minds, right? As long as they have, a good sort of argument, right? They have some evidence or just to back up their opinion, right? The paper will be okay with publishing that as an op-ed. Okay, this reflects on you, the individual person, right, and not the whole group of the newspaper.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, we have an editorial or political cartoon. That's a drawing, often including exaggerated features. So, for example, I guess they would probably draw me with some really big ears or really big glasses or something.
I mean, big hair for me.
Whoa, okay, all right, you went there. I did.
Might be big hair, yep.
So usually caricature features, such as a person having a bigger head or smaller hands than they normally do, and it's meant to show commentary on politics, politicians, and other current events. As we said, it's usually done in cartoon form. So here's a couple examples of editorial cartoons. You can see during the 2020 presidential election and during the 2020 elections that took place, there was debate as to whether or not mail-in voting should happen. Should people be allowed to vote through the mail? And you can see that person, they say mail-in voting is far too risky. And then you can see that they're all standing in line and they're wearing masks. They're wearing the full hazmat suits to make sure that they are safe and protected. So it's kind of a commentary on that. We can see another image. We can see former President Trump. You could see him talking about how during his time in 2020 when he was president, coronavirus cases went up. He says it's not all bad news because television ratings on his end went up. So you could see the people commenting on their feelings about the coronavirus issues connected to the TV ratings for former President Trump. All right, so those were the different types of news. All right, good luck. We'll be moving on with our next part relatively soon. Thank you.